Great. So, good afternoon, all. My name is Rosemary. I am the Google SME lead for East and West Africa. It's a pleasure to welcome you all to this training in partnership with our partners, Africa 118, currently being led by Ezana and Wilfred, who you'll meet very soon, and working closely with Didone and the whole team from IHUZO and the ICT Chamber. So we're happy to walk you through this training today, and I welcome you all to ask any questions along the way when it's not clear. And we look forward to your engagement. So I'll hand over to Diodone just to make some remarks, and then also then to Ezana and Wilfred, then we can start the training. Diodone, please proceed. Okay, we can't hear. Let me just have Ezana just do some and wrap back to you, Diodone.
Yeah, I think we can now start to see some of them they have joined.
Okay, super. Ezana, just maybe say hi and then over to Wilfred. Ezana, are you there? Okay, let's have Wilfred just make some remarks and introductions.
Great. Hi, everyone. I hope you are all doing well. It's a pleasure to have you on board today. My name is Wilfred Omondi. I head the Google My Business project at Africa 118, which is a company with an headquarters in Nairobi, Kenya. And we are a Google partner on the project Google My Business, or on the product Google My Business. So for today, we'll walk you through a series of training which will capture, or where we'll try and explain what Google My Business is and the process that we have in place to support you to submit businesses onto that platform. So prepare to ask as many questions as possible, and we'll try as much as possible to answer or to respond to all of them. And I see my boss is back online, so maybe Zana, you can give some introductory remarks.
Yeah, I'd be happy to. So apologies for having dropped off for a second. Just wanted to reiterate what Rosemary said in terms of welcoming you, the iWorker agent team, to this session. As a Google partner, Africa 118, our job is to make sure that you have all the support that you need to be successful in your outreach to Rwandan businesses that we will be getting online. So this session is, we have done similar sessions in other countries. The things that we've learned is that, number one, there's a big opportunity to help small businesses gain an online presence, and that we believe that Google My Business is a fantastic way of doing so. So that part we do know. We also know that having a team like you as the iWorker team or the agent team out there, their business can gain a presence on Google is something that has proved successful. And so we're very excited to have you here today to be able to
Okay, I think we have some chance with the Zana's network. So let us just go ahead and hand over to Diodone, just to go ahead and just do some quick intros, and then we'll kick off the training once you're done with the introductions on your end.
reach to these small businesses.
Ezana, we lost you. Sorry.
I'm so sorry about that. So I will try to keep it quick so that Wilfred could do Wilfred is doing the bulk of it. But I just wanted to say that one of the other areas that we found has been helpful is for questions. So you have a training session today that Wilfred will walk you through, but we also expect that you'll have questions as you're out in the field, and just to reiterate some of this training. So just to let you know that the Google team has asked us to support you to be successful, and we are here to answer questions today, but also as you're out in the field, we'll ensure that we can address questions and ensure that we are successful. So on that note, I'd like to pass it on to my colleague, Wilfred Omondi. Yeah.
Great. Wilfred, please, over to you. You can begin the training now.
All right, so thanks. Welcome again, everyone. So what I'll do is I'll go ahead and share my screen for today's session. Please let me know once it's visible. Okay, once you confirm that you're able to see my projection, great. So I think just before I start the training, if you have any questions during the session, what I'd encourage you to do is try and use the chat box. I think I'll just send a message hi to everyone so that you can locate where the chat box is. So try and use that chat box so you can present any questions that you have. But I believe towards the tail end of the presentation, we'll also have a Q&A session where anyone who has a question can just unmute and ask. Again, in the course of the training, if we can all remain muted so that we don't have disruptions in terms of noise distractions. So I think those are the two observations that we can try and stick to, and I believe we'll have quite a smooth session. Okay, so I believe everyone has located where the chat button is. If you have any questions, just type and send on that. I will be able to give you a response. Okay, so also to mention that quite a number of you had registered on the Google form that was shared. I think so far we had about 75 people who had registered. And of course, as you did indicate, not all of you have businesses. So we tried and created profiles for about 39, actually 40, that we saw businesses, and that we'll be able to use it for today's session as a demo on what will be happening. In addition to that, through those profiles that you submitted, I'll also be able to show you a number of functionalities and how you can navigate through so that you are well equipped when you go to the field, then you know exactly what the product is about. So we'll be able to see that as we move along. So I'll just go to my presentation. I have it segmented into 3 sections. So the first section will be looking at what Google My Business as a product is. And then after that, we'll look at why it's important. So what is the necessity of having a Google My Business profile? And then lastly, we'll look at the setup. So how you'll be setting it up. And during that segment of how you set it up, we'll look at the process that we are suggesting you'll use, and also the process that we use on our side to make sure that the whole process is complete. Okay, so I'll start by the first segment, which is what Google My Business is. And just to try and explain that further, I'd like to commence by a video. So this is one of the businesses, small businesses that we supported here in Kenya, and they were able to register the kind of impact which they were able to see from the platform. So I'll go ahead and play the video. It's about a minute.
When I was in school, I started making soap. I'm a creative person by nature, so this was a perfect medium for me to express myself. My name is Wangari Mushwe. 2016, I started New Start Organics, and the soap is made from very wonderful natural oils, locally available herbs and additives, very beneficial to the skin. We had literally nothing, and we were like, how are people going to know about us? In 2019, some ladies introduced us to the Google My Business profile. Once we started using the platform, it propelled us to the next level. We didn't expect the rapid growth. We got inquiries in markets that we had previously not anticipated. In March, we had the coronavirus outbreak. We were under lockdown. We could not access our shop. We were fearful at the beginning. We thought that our business would go down, but the opposite actually happened. We were able to get inquiries from Uganda, from Southern Sudan, and we were able to ship our consignment even in the crisis. Our revenues grew by 100%, which is amazing. Google My Business has been the turnaround at New Start Organics. It has really raised our level of doing business. It has really given us a professional edge, a bigger audience than we had initially anticipated. As a mother, and especially as a new mom, this digital platform have enabled me as a woman entrepreneur to still work, manage my business as I take care of my newborn baby. I am able to actually teach and to learn and to be fulfilled, to feel part of the story, part of the fabric of society, not to feel left out, to keep improving myself at the same time improving the business, touching and changing people's lives when they encounter our products.
Great. So I think from that short clip, we've gotten at least an idea of what Google My Business is and some of the opportunities that it unveils to a business owner. One thing that we can also see or get from the video is that this platform is able to support even the smallest businesses that you can think of. And the platform is quite easy to use. We'll be able to see that as we move along. So what exactly is Google My Business? So Google My Business is an online business platform or profile. So it's a profile for your business. So think of your business profile as information, having your business name, having your contact information, having your location, and also having the products and services that you have. So if you think of it as those pieces of information, so you put those pieces of information so that they are accessible online. Okay, so majorly that is what Google My Business is. And if you talk about its visibility online, it gives you access to two Google products, which is Google Search and Google Maps. Okay, so what is Google Search? Google Search is where you'd ordinarily go to look for any piece of information on the internet. So it's where you'll type the search word of what you're looking for, and then you get results. Okay, so that is if you're using the Google product to do such kind of queries on the internet, then you're using what we call a Google search. Of course, there are other search engines, but this is specifically on the Google side. So if you're using Google search to look for that information on the internet, you get results. So that platform that shows you the results is what we call Google search. When you talk about Google Maps, on the other hand, it's all about navigation. So you want to move from point A to point B. What you ordinarily do is go to your Google Maps application and feed in your starting and ending point, and then you'll get a route that will directly direct you through that journey. So when you have your business profile on those two, on GMB, it gives you access to those two profiles. Okay. The other thing about Google My Business is that it's free to use. So any business owner that is interested in having a business profile on Google will not pay anything to have his or her business on that platform, and they'll not pay anything to use that profile. Okay, so it's a free service that is offered. Another thing that Google My Business does for you is it enables you as a small business or as a medium business to have a website. So if you don't have a website and you are interested in getting a website, then Google My Business can allow you to get a one-page website that you can use. Okay, so up to that point, what I'll now do is to show you, and I'm sure you'll be familiar. This would be familiar for you. On my right-hand side, there is a section of a mobile phone with some business profiles on Google Maps. So if you have your business mapped on Google My Business, then when somebody does a search, what you're seeing when somebody does a search on Google Maps, then what is on my right-hand side is what you'll be able to see. And I'm sure if you've ever used your mobile device to search for a place on Google Maps, then that configuration is quite familiar. On the left-hand side is how the business profile would appear when you do a search on Google search. So those two visuals, I think, try to bring the point home, and you're now starting to be familiar with what Google My Business profile looks like. Okay. Maybe at this point, I'd also just stop and give you a visual representation of how a profile would look like, how a Google My Business profile would look like if I was doing a search on my desktop or on my computer. So if I go to my browser, which in this case is Google Chrome, and I'm using Google Search to do a search. So if I type the name of our company, which is Africa 118, and I'll proceed to do a search, there is this profile or this knowledge panel on my right-hand side where I'm able to see there are some pictures here, and I have the ability to see more pictures. Just slightly at the top, there is a Google Maps associated to this knowledge panel. And if I scroll down, I can be able to see the business name here, which is Africa 118. There is a call to action button here leading me to the website. So if I click on it, it will take me to the website. So in other words, the business profile here has been linked to the company's website. So that is also another thing that Google My Business will allow you to do. If I wanted to go to the location of this business, and I don't know how to find this address here, what I can do is to use the directions so that it can guide me through up to that store. So again, I have that. If I wanted to make a call to this shop, again, I have the call button here, which I can then be able to click on, and then I'll be able to make a phone call. If I scroll down, some of the things I'm still able to see are the products. So the products that are related to that business profile that I've just found. Scrolling down again, there is a section for questions and answers. So which means consumers can ask questions to this business profile, and the business owners can be able to respond. If I scroll again down, I am able to see that so far there are people who've reviewed the business profile. So reviewing in this case, just giving feedback based on the services that you got from the business, okay? And just below it is the description of the business. So what you're able to see at this point is a business profile that contains basic business information, okay? So I think with that, the message is getting more familiar to you, and you're now starting to understand what Google My Business is. So I'll go to why it's important. assuming that up to now, either we've understood what Google My Business is, or it's now more familiar to us what Google My Business is. So I'll now look at why it's important. Okay, so why it's important, again, I've segmented this into 3 sections. So I'll start with the first section, which is looking at research. So if a research is done, what are people saying about Google My Business, or what is the impact that we're able to see Google My Business presenting? So the first research indicated that if you have a Google My Business profile and somebody or a consumer finds your business profile, then there is almost 29% likelihood that that person would transition into purchasing your product. Okay, so a lead converting into a sale, which means somebody has searched for, let's say, information about your business profile and your business, or a product that you're offering, and your business profile has been shown. There is a 29% that the person who's seen your profile would eventually make either purchase out of your business. Okay, so that is an impact already in boosting your sales, and that helps you grow as a business. The second research indicates that 38% of people who see your business profile are people who are within your locality. Okay, so if you're a business in Rwanda, assuming you are offering digital marketing services, when somebody finds your profile, there is high likelihood, actually 38% likelihood, that the person who's found your profile is within Kigali. Okay, so what does that mean? It means that the results that you get are people who are within your reach. So if you are to do business with them, then it becomes quite easy. Okay, so that is the kind of impact that we're able to see Google My Business offer to small businesses. So that is the first segment in terms of research. The second segment, why Google My Business profile is important, I'd like to look at traffic. So if you look at traffic, what we're able to see is that the Google My Business as a platform attracts about 100 billion website visits. So what you're able to see is that there are people who actually use the product. So it's not something that is isolated. It's something that is actually being used. We're able to know that 100 billion website visits in a month. There's about 1 billion calls generating from the platform. Again, just reinforcing the point that people are actually using that platform. And then lastly, 3 billion direction requests. Again, these are people who've gone, searched for information, found your business profile on Google, and they've requested for direction from that profile. Again, in terms of traffic, what we're able to see is that people are actually using the business profile, and they're using it in volumes. So as a business, it makes sense that you be on that platform, so that when people are looking for either your services or your products, then you can be found. Okay. On the last segment, I'll now look at why it's important as a product. So why is Google My Business important as a product? In other words, what are some of the functionalities or advantages that you get when you're using Google My Business as a product? So the first one, I'll look at the fact that if you have a business profile on Google, then your profile stands out. The second one being, it enables you to engage your customers or your audiences. And then lastly, it collects information for you as a business owner, which you can then use to promote further your business. So I'll start with the first one, the ability to stand out. Why do you say that if you have your business profile on Google, then you're standing out?
I will.
Yes?
I believe somebody else is sharing the screen.
Okay. All right, I think I'm back on.
Thank you.
Yeah.
Yeah, great. Thanks for that notification. So I've mentioned three things when we talk about the product in terms of advantages. So the first one is it helps you to stand out. The second one, it helps you to engage your audiences. And then lastly, as a business owner, you're able to collect or get insights that you can then use to promote further your business. So we'll look at each of them one by one, starting with standing out. So why do we say that having a business profile on Google enables your business profile to stand out? We say so because the profile allows you to showcase basic business information to your audiences. So what are these basic business information? First, it allows you to showcase your business name. It also allows you to showcase your contact details in terms of phone number or website if somebody would like to know more about your business. It also allows you to show the direction to your business, things like opening hours, so that if I wanted to visit a business at 6 in the evening, instead of going up to the business, then just realizing that it's closed, I can be able to just look it up on my phone, then be able to make a decision whether to visit it at that point or not. Okay, so you'll have that information displayed. In addition to that, you can have things like updates on your business being shared on the same profile. You can also have either product and services also available. In addition to that, it also allows you to share rich content about your business. So this rich content are the ability to share photos or the ability to share videos. Okay. And then lastly, if you're a business owner, assuming you don't have a website, and a website is quite important for a business. If you don't have a website, then what Google My Business does is it allows you to get a free one-pager website. So if you combine all those together, the ability to showcase basic, necessary and important business information, and the ability to get a free one-pager website, then what you end up with is a business profile that stands out. So that is the first point. The second point is the ability to engage with your audience. So that is done through a number of tools that Google My Business avails to the business owner. The first one is the ability to share promotional posts. So if you're a business, let's say you are running a promotion on your store and you'd like to share that promotion with your audience, Google My Business allows you to do that, courtesy of the posting capability. The other thing is it allows your consumers to be able to review you. So review in this case is one way it allows the business owner to get feedback on the kind of service that he or she is providing. In addition to that, it also builds credibility to your business profile. So if I go to your business profile and I find that 120 people have reviewed your business, I'm able to go through the comments and see that, yes, this is a business that I can be able to trust. And if I get either a service or a product from them, I will be contented as a consumer. So the review section allows you to interact with your business, your clients. And just in any case, if somebody doesn't give a favorable review to your business profile, it also acts as a feedback to the business owner so that he or she can be able to identify areas that they are not performing well and improve on that. So if you're able to improve on your quality of service, then definitely what you'll have as a next step is loyal customers. And if you have loyal customers, then it means your business is growing. The other capability that allows you to engage with your customers is the messaging tool. So on Google My Business, you can be able to activate messaging capability. And that means that your potential clients can now then start engaging with you on text. So if they had an inquiry, they can simply send you a text message through the app and you'll be able to see it and respond. When I was showcasing our business profile, I also showed, yes?
I believe Joel is trying to screen again.
Okay.
Yamurinze Joel was sharing the screen. Screen now.
Yes. So Joel, if you can.
Is disturbing.
So what you can do, if you don't know how to go about it, just exit the call and then you come back and don't press the sharing button.
Yeah, for sure.
Okay, thank you. All right. So I believe my screen is back on.
Yes.
Thanks for that commercial break, Jill. So we are looking at engaging our customers, where we've mentioned a couple of tools on the product or on the Google My Business product that allows you to engage with your customers. The last bit is analytics. So Google My Business again has a capability to collect useful insights and analytics and present that to you as a business owner. Some of that is just knowing how many people are looking for you, say in a month or in a week or within the last 3 months. You can also get information on the top search words or search phrases that they're using to get your business profile. So as a business owner, what you can be able then to do with that piece of information is package it and try and reach more audiences using those high-level search words. One way that you can do that is running a campaigns around those keywords. So those 3 points that I've mentioned, ideally, are some of the reasons why it's important to have a Google My Business profile. So just to do a recap on why it's important, I mentioned that if you look at impact based on research that was done, once you have a business profile and somebody or a consumer finds your business profile, then there is a 29% chances that that person or that consumer would be able to transition into a purchase. So in other words, they'll be able to either get a service or get a product from your business. So that is the power it offers you to grow. We also saw that there are huge volume of people that are using the platform. So it's just in order that as a business owner, if you are looking to grow, you also be where a lot of people are. And then lastly, we've looked at, in terms of the product, what are some of the tools that it offers to a business owner. We've seen it allows the business owner to be able to interact with their audience. It allows the business owners to have access to data and insights, and therefore he or she can be able to use that to find additional customers. And then lastly, it allows the business profile to stand out by showcasing the relevant, important business information that is necessary for a consumer. So up to that point, maybe I'd like to just pause for a while and ask if there are any questions. And I'll also look at the chat section. So no questions so far. Maybe if we have 2 people with questions, we can take the 2 questions and then we proceed. But in the meantime, if you have any questions, please use the chat section.
Hello.
Hi, Gabriel.
Yeah, Wilfred, on our side, we don't have any question. I think we can proceed unless we have another question from the iWorkers that have joined online.
Yes, I think Gabriel has a question.
Yeah, my question is very simple. I would like to ask you if you can share with us this PPT we are presenting, because it can help us. Sometimes we are breaking. I don't know if it is the problem of connection at your end, but at my end, sometimes we are breaking. So that if I get this this PPT, it can help me. Thank you.
All right, Gabriel. So I think we'll be able to share the presentation with you once we are done.
Okay, thank you so much.
All right, thank you. Great. So I believe we so far so good. Izana, do you have anything to add before we continue?
All good from my side, Wilfred.
Great, thank you. So at this point, what I'd like to do is showcase to you a business profile. What we've seen so far is the representation of a business profile from a consumer. So what you're able to see as a consumer. So what we'd like to do now is see the business profile as a business
Actually, maybe
owner.
Wilfred, if you can
What
just,
kind of
just pause 1 second, because I think we lost Dieudonné, and that's where the big group is. I think his connection just dropped. They just joined again.
Okay, thank you. Great. So I think we can carry on. So I'd like to show you how a business dashboard looks like. And for this, normally we use our profiles, but our business profile, but in this case, we were happy to get about 70 people register on the Google form that was shared earlier. We tried to look at the business section and create business profiles that we thought were real businesses. So some didn't fill the section because you don't have a business. Some of you just put in your name. So in that case, we're not able to create the profiles, but the ones that we saw were businesses, we were able to proceed and create profiles for. So about 90 of them, about 40 of them, we created profiles for, and we invited you to take ownership of those businesses. So if you registered and you entered your business name, then most definitely you got an email from Google letting you know that Africa 118 is inviting you to take ownership of your profile. Okay, so again, I'm going to switch screens here. Okay, so just present a wider screen. So great. So with the businesses, we created about 40 business profiles, and you're able to see them. So I'll just pick an example of all-in-one computer services. So all-in-one computer services, just some quick observations that you can make is that at this point we have the business name, we have the address where it's located, we have its status here showing us that it's not verified, so which means it's not appearing on Google Search and Google Maps. Okay, so those are some few observations that you can make. If I click on this, then I'll be able to see the business profile. So if we sent you an invitation, say an example of this, if we sent you an invitation and you haven't accepted it, then it means as the business owner, you are not able to have such kind of a dashboard. Okay, if we sent you the invitation and you received it, then it means, you received it and accepted it, then it means you have access to your business profile and you can see a dashboard similar to what I'm projecting right now. Okay, so just a quick overview of what it entails, and when I'm doing this, I'll also try and review some of the advantages that I spoke of a little earlier. So we started by saying that if you have a business profile, it allows you to stand out, or it allows your business to stand out. So when we were talking about that, I mentioned about the fact that you can add important necessary business information to your business profile. So how do you do that? once you are logged into your dashboard, your business profile dashboard, on the left-hand side, there is always the menu, okay? And the third tab on that menu is the info section. So if I click on it, it allows me to make modifications or updates on any information about my business profile, okay? So at this point, I have the business name, which I can be able to edit or make update on. I also have a section for your address, for your hours of operation. So when I was showing our profile, one of the things you're able to see is our hours of operation. For you to display that on your business profile, you could do that under the edit button on add hours. And you're able to select which days of the week you're working, which hours of the day you're working. So if it's a Monday, I'll say maybe I start working at 8, and then I close my shop at, say, around 7. So 7 in the evening. I'll fill that for the rest of the applicable days of the week and hours of the day, and then I click on apply. Then that information would be updated on my profile, okay? All those changes, what you're able to do is update them under the info. It also allows you to add things like your business description. So again, that is possible under this section, info. Allows you to add basic business information onto your profile. The other thing I mentioned was the ability to add product or services. So for this category, what I can be able to do is add my products. Again, going back to the menu, when I scroll down, I'm able to identify the products tab. And if I have a product that I'd like to list on my profile, I'll just go ahead and add it under products, okay? So when I'm adding a product, I'm able to add a photo, a product description, product category, and if I have a special website link, then I can also append that onto the product and I save. So once I save it, whenever somebody finds my profile, they'll be able to review or see what the product I offer, okay? So that keeps on adding information onto your profile, which makes it to stand out. The other thing I mentioned was rich text or rich content onto your profile, where I mentioned either adding a picture or pictures and also videos. So that again on the menu, left-hand side, just above products, I have the pictures or the photos section. I can be able to add the photos that I wish to add, starting with either my logo, my cover photo. If I have a video, I can add it to my profile, add in pictures about the interior of my business, go ahead and add pictures about exterior, and any other picture that I'd like to add to my profile. So that makes my profile to be rich. And then lastly, I mentioned about the ability to get a free one-pager website if a business does not have a website. So just below the product section on the menu, I have my website here. If I click on it, the good thing is that you don't need any expertise or any web development expertise to be able to generate this one-pager website. It's automatically generated for you based on the information that you've entered. So as you can be able to see, right now I have a free one-pager here generated for me with the business name, the contact information, call to action information, the business information that I entered. That is what I'm able to see with some pictures. So for these pictures, you can be able to change. If you had added pictures to your profile, those would automatically be picked and they'll be appended onto your free website, okay? And this now becomes your free one-pager website that you can use as a business owner. And as you can clearly see, it's just a matter of entering information onto your business profile, and then that is automatically picked and loaded onto your free one-pager website. Okay, so in terms of standing out, I think that is pretty much clear on how you can be able to make your profile stand out as a business owner. So the reason why, again, we are doing this is to make you as equipped as possible so that when you go to the businesses, then you feel confident and you can be able to engage them and share with them the kind of advantages that they'll be able to get from the business profile. I'd like to move to the second section of the advantages of having a Google My Business profile, which was the ability to engage your audience. I mentioned that one of the capabilities is to share posts on your profile with your audience. So back to your menu, the second tab is the post section. So when I come to the post section, I'm able to see that I have a number of capabilities in terms of, or options in terms of the kind of posts that I can be able to put, starting with whether I'm running an offer or if I'd like to add a new product or just a general update, or if I have an event that I'd like to update. So when you put that information under post, it will go to your audiences, and that it allows you to interact with them. So sharing the piece of information about your business with them. The second ability to interact with your audience that I mentioned was the reviews. So again, on the left-hand side of the menu, I'm able to locate reviews. When I click on it, normally once your business is verified and you have access, when you come to this section, you'll be able to see if somebody has left a review for you, you'll be able to see it under this dashboard, okay? And if you've just verified your business profile and you'd like, maybe when somebody comes to your shop, you'd like them to review you, then what you can do is also generate a unique link, share it with your customers. When they click on that link, they'll be able to directly review you without having to search for your business profile and then look for where the review section. So that link allows them to directly come to your review section of your business profile. Okay, the question and answer section, that is not visible on the internal dashboard, but is something that is presented on the consumer dashboard. So if I come back to our business profile here and I wanted to ask a question, if I scroll down, you're able to see this ability. It's showing me that I can ask a question, and if I click on it, then I'll be able to type in my question that I'd like to leave for this business here. Once I'm done, I just click on post, and the business owner will be will get a notification that somebody is asking a question about the business. The second last bit was about messaging. Again, just below reviews, I have the messaging section here. Once I verify my profile, I'm able to start getting messages when people drop me messages, okay? So again, this capability allows you to interact with your audiences. Lastly, I spoke about finding new customers, and that we said was through insights. So still on the menu, when I click on insights, okay, once I've verified my profile, again, I'll be able to see analytics here showing me how many people have searched for me and found me within last 1 week, within the last 1 month, within the last 3 months. So that is information that will be displayed here. It will also show me how many people have taken action. So once you find my business profile, do you either send me a message, or do you call me to make an inquiry, or do you visit my website, or do you request for my direction? So that is information that would be displayed under insights. Okay, just the last piece is that in terms of ownership of the business, assuming the business has maybe 3 people, it's a relatively grown business and it has more than 1 employee, and some of the employees say is the marketing team that would like to help in managing the business profile, and you'd like to give access to other people, then what you do is still on the menu, the last option here, which is users. That is where you come to, you click on it, and it gives you the capability to be able to add a user. Okay, so this will be very, very important when I'm presenting the process that we use. So just know that you'll be using it as you go about your daily operations. So on the left-hand side of the menu, scroll down, the last option, users. When you click on it, it gives you this menu where you can be able to add a user. All right. So majorly, that is Google My Business, and I'm sure you can attest that it's quite a simple tool to use. So long as you're able to log in and go to your business profile, then virtually you have access to every bit of your profile that you might need to use. So again, I'll just stop at that point. In case anyone has a question on that section.
Yes, Wilfred, I think we have a question here in this one.
Okay, please go ahead.
Yes, good afternoon.
Good afternoon.
Good. I have received an email with the link to accept the invitation. When I clicked on that to accept the invitation, I see the notification of error 500.
Right, yes. So thanks so much for that question. When it comes to that error, it's a small issue with the platform. So normally, when we send out invitations, immediately you click on that invitation, it redirects you to a new page, which under normal circumstances, it needs to open your business profile. But because of that small glitch, normally it gives you an error. So what you need to do is just refresh your browser. Okay, when you refresh your browser, then you'll be able to load the business profile. So you'll be able to see the internal dashboard of your business profile. Okay, so at this point, of course, that error, it's not just you that will be seeing. You'll be seeing that quite a lot. It's something that is very, very common. My advice to you is whenever you see it, it's for me, I can say it's something common on my side because I see it on a daily basis. Okay, so what I'll always do is just refresh my browser, the browser that I'm using. I'll just refresh it and it will pick the business profile. An alternative to that is I'll just open a new tab and go to the Google My Business dashboard. So for example, sorry about that. So for example, if I got that error, what I would do is open a new tab, just as I have done now, and then go to business.google.com. So business.google.com, that is the website link that you use to access your business profile. I'll just paste it here on the chat. So link to access GMB. Okay, so when I get that error, I'll just go to a new tab on my browser and then type in that business.google.com and then load it. So once I load that that URL, then I'll be able to get access to my business profile. All right, so thanks for that question. I believe that the response is comprehensive enough. And as you're confirming, if I've responded to you, please also mention the business name so we can maybe have a look at it. I don't know if you can hear me.
Yes, we can hear you.
Okay, I think there's an issue on their side. Okay, Dieudonné, can you just confirm if you are able to hear me?
At my end, it's okay. I can hear you.
Oh, great. So I think they're having an issue on their side. Maybe what I can advise you, if you're able to hear me, is if you have troubles, maybe unmuting, just try and leave the call and then join back. The issue will be sorted. Okay. All right. So assuming no further questions, what I'd now like to do is look at the how. So what is the process that we have put in place and that we are asking you to be able to use? Okay, so I'll just go through the whole process at once in terms of what will happen. So the first thing is that you'll have a unique URL where you're able to share the business information. Okay, so that unique URL I'll be able to show you. On that unique URL, ideally what will happen is we'll be collecting some few business information details. Once that is collected, you will submit it to us. And then once you've submitted it to us, we'll be able to process it and record that on the dashboard. So that is more of a quicker process. What I'd like to do is go into detail, so step by step. Okay.
Hi, Wilfred. I was just going to suggest that we validate that Dieudonné and his team are still. Oh, okay, they're still on. Okay, please continue. Please.
Great. Thanks again for alerting me on that. So I'd like to start by the process on. So I'm putting them together, the aggregators and the iWorkers. So what is the process that you will be using? So it's on your side, it's a 3-step process, and then we finalize it on our side with the 4th step. Okay, so at this point, I'd like you to be quite keen and ask as many questions as possible. So I'll start with the first process. So what are we proposing? We are saying that you as an iWorker, you will approach a business and collect basic information about that business. What is that basic information? It's a proof of business affiliation, a business name, a business owner's name, and an email address. Okay, so those will be the basic pieces of information that you'll be collecting, and then you'll be able to forward that information to us on a collaborative Google Doc sheet. Okay, so just to try and give you why this is important, I'll start with the proof of business affiliation. So when we are doing this work, what you're able to see is that on my earlier presentation, you're able to see the kind of traffic that is going into the platform. So which means quite a number of people are using the platform and they're using it to get business information. So what we do not want to do is put in business information that is not correct. So in other words, businesses that don't exist. Okay. So how do we make sure that we ensure that businesses that are submitted to us actually exist? It's through this proof of business affiliation. Okay, so what exactly is that? This can either be most of the businesses, when you go walk into them, you'll always find that they have a proof of the business operation within that premise. So that can either be the business registration certificate or a certificate that is showing that they have authorization to operate, maybe from the town council, or you could also ask them to show you a proof of a payment of a utility bill. So for example, if they're at a location where they are in a building and they've hired that building, or they're renting that building, you could ask them to show you something that shows that they're the people who are renting the building. Or if they're paying electricity, you could ask them just to show you, approve that they're paying electricity, or approve that they're paying internet, or approve that they are paying maybe water bills. So any utility bill with the business name, that would work as a proof of business affiliation. Okay. In some cases, you could also ask if they remit taxes. There's also a certificate that is given. So again, that can also act as a proof of business affiliation. So you have three options. You just mentioned that you'd like to ascertain that the business exists, and most of the times when you go into a business, you'll always find that they have that document within their premise. So whether it's a certificate of registration, or it's a county council certificate that allows them to operate, or it's proof that they are paying their county council levies, or it's a document that is showing that they are paying some utility bills. Okay, so what will you be able to do with that is just take a photo and have it on record. So again, the reason why this is quite important, I remember when the lists were submitted, I saw we got an example here, and we decided to keep it just to show you why it's important. So one of the examples was, I think, University of Rwanda. Yes. So if you look at the list of profiles that we created, and this we left it, we decided to use it as an example. So okay, seems that it's been taken out of the profile, but assuming today, if we didn't have a proof of business affiliation for this business here, Success Tech Lab Limited, we go ahead and verify the profile and give access to someone who is not the business owner, then it means in that case, you are not quite sure what that person will be able to do with the profile. So the hint here is we want to make sure that we are able to give business profiles access to people who are either the business owners or those who are officially representatives of that business. Okay, so that would be the first step. You collect proof of business affiliation, business name, business owner's name, and then the email. So how will you be able to collect this? There's a form here that you'll be able to do that. So the form has quite a number of pieces of information that I'll be able to elaborate on. Okay, so the first one is the iWorkers name. I'll just go through them a little quick and then come back to explain. Is the iWorkers name. So in this case, your name, if you're submitting a business name, and then the aggregator under which you're affiliated. So I just picked some few. In this case, we can be able to make amendments on it. So assuming you're from RTN, I'll say my name is Wilfred Omondi. Okay. I'm affiliated to RTN. The business name is, let's say, Wilfred Services, just giving an example. Okay. And then the business name, I'll assume I'm the owner, so I put in my name. Okay. And then my email address is, I'll put in my work email address. .com. Okay, and at this point I'll come to proof of business affiliation. So proof of business affiliation, assuming I've taken a picture of the certificate of business registration, so I'll just go ahead and click on, okay. This is giving me an issue, so I'll go to my okay. So what I'll do is just click on this and I'll pick an image. So earlier, I'd taken a sample here. So this is my certificate, assuming this is my proof of business affiliation certificate. Once I've taken a photo of it, I'll just look through my gallery and select this photo here, and then I'll be able to upload it. So once I upload it, then what I'll be able to do now is just submit this information. Okay, so once I've submitted that information, the first step is complete. Okay, when I'm submitting that information, some of the things that you see me record is my name. So again, this one will just to help and know the quantity of what each and every person is attributed to. So at the end of the day, we'll be able to see that Wilfred Omondi has submitted maybe 20 profiles, and those 20 profiles will be attributed to you. Okay, and we'll also be able to know that Wilfred Omondi is affiliated to which aggregator, in this case, RTN. All right, so that is the first thing that you'll do. The second step that you'll now be able to do is to now help that business owner create their profile. Okay, how will you be able to do that? Remember, I had shared a link with you earlier, which was business.google.com. So you'll just ask them that, since this business profile will belong to you, we'd like to help you create it on your phone so that you have access to it. All right. And why again are we using that ability to help them create the business profiles on their phone? Is because that would automatically give them access to their business profiles. So if you create the business profiles on their phones or using their email addresses, then that gives them automatically access to their business profiles. So assuming I'm an iWorker, what I'll do is just once I have the business owner's email address, or just showing him, assuming the computer I'm using now is his or hers, I'll just ask them to go to business.google.com. Once they've gone to that link, I'll ask them to sign in with their email address. So in this case, I'm signed in to my email address. I'll change this. So once I'm signed into that email address, what I'll ask them to do is to click on Add a Business. So when you click on Add a Business, you click on Add a Single Business. The first thing it will ask me is enter your business name. So the business name we were using was Wilfred Services. Okay. So again, this is just a demo. I'll click on that. Then the next thing that it will ask me to do is to enter the business category. So just give it, yes, business category. So assuming I am a small shop, I sell quite a number of things. So I call myself a general store. Okay. So I'll just type in my category here, and when I start typing, it gives me a suggested list. I'll be able to pick a general store, and then I click on next. The next thing it will ask me for is where I am located. Okay, so when you're filling where you are located, you have two options. It will ask you to either, if you have a physical location, in other words, an office or a premise or a store where people can walk into, you will say yes. But if you don't have a premise where people can walk into, you'll say no. Okay. The reason why you'll be even able to proceed to this point is because you've ascertained that the business actually exists through the business, the proof of business affiliation. So if it's an online business, let's say you buy things from them and then they do delivery on your behalf and they don't have a location, in that case, you'll just say they don't have a location. And I'll just give you an example. If I say, no, I don't have a location, then it will ask me for my service area. So for example, if I'm able to operate within Kigali, so I'll just say my service area is in Kigali, Rwanda. So I'll put that as an option, and then I click on next. Okay, so that is for a case where a business doesn't have a physical location. Maybe they do deliveries. For a case where a business has physical location, so I'll just say, yes, I have a physical location, and then I click on next. Okay, so when I click on next, the first thing I want to do is to make sure I'm on the right country. So in this case, I'll use Rwanda. So I'll just in Rwanda and say yes, there it is. So I know there is a street, let's say I'll just guess KG 105, assuming that is my address, and it's at Nyarutarama. Okay, so I'll assume that my street is at KG 105 and it's in Nyarutarama. The city is Kigali. Okay, and then I just click on next. So once I've done that, it will give me a suggestion of possible business profiles that are within that place. Definitely I'll check and say no, none of them is my business. So I say none of this, and then I click on next. Okay, so it will ask me, it will give me this map, where exactly am I located? So what I can do is just try and zoom in, and okay, so I can say that my business is somewhere around here. Yes, my business is around this place here. Okay, and then once I'm convinced that that is exactly where it is, what I'll do is just click on next so that I'm able to proceed. It will ask me if I have other locations. I say no, and then click on next, and then I put in my phone number. All right, so phone number, always put in a phone number, because that is how businesses or how consumers will be able to reach you. In addition to that, when we are confirming the information that you've submitted, we'll need to use this phone number that you're providing so that we can get to the business owner to validate that information. Okay, so always ensure that you have your business phone number, or you have the business phone number included there. So in this case, I don't have a Rwandese business phone number, so I'll just skip it. But for your case, please don't skip it. Make sure that you have a phone number on the profile. And then I'll also need to put in my business website. So if I have a website, I can be able to include it. But if I don't have a website, remember, one of the advantages of getting a Google My Business profile was, if you don't have a website, then you can get a free one-pager website. Okay, so what will I do? If I want a free one-pager website, then I'll just click on this last option. Okay, and I click on next. And then that virtually will be the end of it. So it will create a business profile for me. Once it's created the profile, I'll be given the next page to verify it. Okay, so just to help you understand, why are we doing the whole of this exercise as Africa 118? So our work majorly is on the verification. Right now, if I go ahead and request for a postcard, probably next year, at the same time, we can have a similar discussion, and I'll still not have gotten this postcard. For what reason? Because the addressing majorly in Africa is quite a challenge. So many business owners would like to use Google My Business profile, but when it gets to the verification part, they get a challenge because they request for postcards, and those postcards, almost 99% of them never get to be delivered. So verifying the business profile becomes a challenge. And if the very business profile is not verified, then it means it's not visible to your consumers, and therefore they cannot be able to find you. Okay, so when you get to this point of verifying, what I'll ask you to do is just go to more options. Okay, so ideally at this point, you have created the business profile, and that would mark the second point, or the second part here. So iWorker creates a business profile on Google My Business platform. Why do we do this? Because if you create it on the business owner's either phone, or you help them create it on their phone, or on their devices, or on their email address, then by default, they, as the business owners, they're the people who have access to their profiles. Okay, so since they have access to their profiles, and the profile is not verified, and you'd like to you'd like Africa 118 to help you verify the profile, because with us, you will not have to go through the process of requesting for a postcard and having to wait for that longer period. We are able to directly verify the business profile. So at this point, what you'll now do is to invite Africa 118 to that business profile. Okay, so how will you invite Africa 118? We have a unique code here that we have produced courtesy of this initiative. So I'll just type it here. It is 5283496345. Okay, so again, this is information that we'll be able to share with you, and you'll have it. So just have that code somewhere. So once you've created this business profile, remember, let me just go back here. So we are at this point where we have created the business profile. So the next step is to invite Africa 118 into this profile so that they can verify it. Okay, so how do you do that? The first thing is you say you want more option of verification. Okay, once you click on more options, it will ask you to verify later. So you just go ahead and click on verify later, and then it will open for you additional information that you add. So with the business owner, you can just help him or her fill in this information quite fast. In this case, I'll just skip it. Okay, if they want to activate the messaging capability, again, they'll just click on next so that it's activated, or they can turn it off using this button here. Okay, so in my case, I'll just skip it. And then I can also write a short description about what my business entails. Once I'm done with that, I'll just click on next. On our case, we'll just skip it for now. And then, of course, photos, again, I can be able to add the photos. I can help the business owner add the photos, or it's also an exercise that they can be able to do later. So in this case, I'll just skip it for now. Okay, and then advertising, again, this I'm not interested in at the moment. So what I'll do is just skip it. Okay, so once I skip it, it's telling me that my business profile is almost ready. So I click on continue. When I click on continue, it gives me now the internal dashboard of my business profile. So assuming I'm the owner of this business, I have access to it. So what is my interest? My interest is to have it verified so that it's visible to consumers. For that verification to happen, I'll need to invite Africa 118 into this profile. Okay, how will I do that? Remember, on the left-hand side of this profile, there is the menu bar. So on this menu bar, I'll just scroll down to users. So when I click on users, it will give me an option to invite someone, or to invite somebody into my profile. So I'll just go ahead and invite a user. Okay, so I click on invite a user, and then that unique code that I had shared earlier, I'll just key it in onto this space. Okay, so when I key it in, you're able to see that it's telling me that this unique code here is associated to the name iWorkers Rwanda. So what I'll do is just click on it, and then I choose a role. So when you're choosing a role at this stage, you can either decide to go with an owner, or you can decide to go with a manager. Either of them is just fine. There is no limitation. Okay, so in this case, I'll just assume that I'm a little bit cautious. I'd not like to give you ownership rights, so I'll go ahead and give you manager rights. Okay, once I'm done, then I'll simply click on invite. All right, and what I can see is that Africa 118 has been invited to that platform. So ideally, that would be the end of your work as an iWorker. All right, so what I'm going to try to do is now to put the pieces together. So on our back end, what we'll do as Africa 118 is to verify the profile. Okay, so when we verify that profile, as I did mention, that we will be able to attribute that this profile is by iWorker, let's say Wilfred. So how will we be able to do that? Remember, you had submitted information about where is it? On this form, you had submitted your information here. So iWorker is Wilfred, you are associated to RTN. The business name is Wilfred Services, and of course, you've entered these other pieces of information. So what we'll do now is, on our side, we'll get a notification that you have entered information onto this form. So if I just click on this and just refresh it. Okay. Just a moment. Okay, so if I now refresh this, what I'm able to see is that information has been recorded right here, okay? And on our internal processes now, we'll be able to know that there's an iWorker called Wilfred who has submitted a business name called Wilfo Services. So what we'll need to do is just go into our Google My Business account, identify this business profile, and since you've entered the rest of the information, what we'll do is just go to the profile, get the phone number, reach out to the business owner, and then confirm the information that you've submitted to ensure that that information is correct. Okay, and also to ensure that the business actually exists, and we'll be able to see that using this proof of business affiliation that you're able to see here. Once the process is complete, okay, so what we'll be able to do is on our internal side, we'll be able to know that yes, the information was correct and this business is approved. The information here, the business owner definitely has access to the business profile because it was created on his or her email address. Okay, so again, we'll be able to mark this as claimed. So if you have your business, the business that you submitted being both approved and it's claimed, then what will happen is that you'll now be entitled to get compensation for this successful business profile. All right, and of course, over time, you'll find that you have almost 100 business profiles. So how will we be able to know that you are the one who submitted this business profile? We'll be able to track that using your name here. And then this information now will be transferred into a dashboard that we have already built for all the aggregators that will be helping us with this. And they'll have access to, at the end of the day, they'll be able to know, okay, so far, all our workers have brought in, let's say, 1,000 profiles. How would we know that so-and-so has brought how many? Again, we'll have that information to share with them, okay? So with that, that would be the end of the process. So that is ideally the process that will be going on your end. When we come to the verification, so this last process, I'll just go through it quickly so that you also know what we do on our end. So on our end, the first thing is that you will have filled in this information and submitted it to us, okay? So the first thing that we'll do is we'll reach out to this business person to confirm the information. Normally when we reach out, there are two possible outcomes. Either we successfully get to the business or we don't get to the business, okay? So if we get to the business, just as I did mention, we'll confirm the information, and if it checks and everything is fine, we'll proceed to verify the profile. So in this case, since... Yes?
Just want to be mindful of the fact that we're at the time that we had allocated. I don't think there's much left. How much time do you think we would need just to manage everybody's time?
I think in the next maximum 3 minutes.
So shall we say we go about 10 minutes over, if that's okay with everybody? Okay, so why don't you keep going? Just wanted to manage the expectations from Dudene and the team.
Great. Thanks for that reminder again. So at the call center stage, ideally, this is what we have. So if the business information checks and you created the business profile from the business owner's email address, then we'll be bypassing this stage because they have access the business profile, but it's what we were able to use on today's process, where we created profiles and sent you invitations. Okay, and I'm sure that if you've gotten an invitation, you notice that it's coming from Google, this email here, and then the business owner will accept the profile. So in other words, they have access to the profile, and then the process would end. Okay. In case we don't get successfully to the business owner, we'll just record that, and the following day we will try and reach out again. Okay. If we are successful, we continue with the process as outlined. If we are not successful, we'll try on the third day. So in other words, we try to reach out to these businesses for 3 consecutive days on phone. If on the third day we are still not able to reach to them, what we'll do is, with the email that you'd submitted, we'll be able to send them an email just notifying them that you had presented your business, but we've tried reaching out to you. It's not been possible. Could you get back to us, or let us know which number we can reach you on? So when they get back again, we'll just be able to continue with that process. So internally, that is the process that we have. Just some quick things is that number one is, normally with the call center, we're able to reach out to the businesses that are submitted maximum 24 hours. Okay, so if you submit a business today, then you expect that by tomorrow we will have reached out to the business owner to confirm the information, unless it's either a public holiday, or if you submit a business on Friday evening. In that case, since we don't operate on Saturdays and Sunday, then in that case we'll be able to reach out to them on Monday. Okay, and at any one point, if you have any questions, we do have this email address, but I also just suggest that we can have a WhatsApp group where we can respond to any questions that come quite faster. The other thing to notice is that for you to be able to qualify for a payout, it means that the profile that you submit, we should be able to confirm that information and verify it, and the business owner needs to have access to it. Okay, so I think I'll stop at that. This one here is only relevant for the aggregators, and we'd covered it yesterday. So I think I'll be able to stop at that point and pause for questions. Maybe I'll just start with the chat section to see if there is any questions. So far, none. Yes, so I think I'll open the floor to questions if there is anyone who has a question. And I'll just confirm that the whole information that I've shared, the recording is being done for this call, so we'll be able to share that. In addition to that, the material that I'm using, we'll also be able to share it. And we remain available just in case there is a process that bypassed you. You can always reach out so that we support. Okay, so if you have any questions, please feel free to ask.
Hello.
Hi, Gabriel.
Thank you for the it was very good. I also have got something, and my question is, as iWorker, we can register many companies one day, but I have seen that we need to fill the Google form, the one you were showing us. So the question I have, as the Google form can be filled once, I am asking you how many times can we fill the Google form so that we may register many companies as possible?
Great, thanks for that question. So we did factor that in, knowing that you are not only limited to one business per day. So we factored that in, and we've set the form to allow you to submit as many responses or instances of responses as possible. So if you'd like, let's say in a day, you register 20 businesses, the form will allow you to enter the information 20 times. So you'll have no restrictions on that.
Okay, thank you so much.
Thank you.
Seems like we've lost, don't know if Dieudonné is still on or not. Looks like we might have lost him.
I think, yeah, the team that was following from their side is not here.
I think they just dropped off. Yeah.
Okay, so I think it seems we don't have further questions. Maybe I also see Consolata here. I don't know if you have a word, Consolata.
Yes,
Great. Do you have any comment?
Okay, I personally have no comment, other than the fact that this is the first time most of us are seeing this, and maybe we might need a little bit more practice, and maybe, I don't know, if we could have a follow-up session after we have had time to at least try this out. That would be my request.
Great. Yes, so I think I will share the materials with you. You can go through them and probably do some tests, and we'll be glad to do a follow-up session once quite a number of people have tested it, and I think by then they'll be having questions. If they get stuck, they'll record that, and we can be able to support. So it's quite fine. We can arrange for another follow-up session.
So, I'm being told that Dieudonné is in the waiting room with his team. I don't know if you can see them so that I can let them in.
Okay. Unfortunately, we'll not be able to do that because the call was set up by Rosemary and she'd dropped off. So the notifications ideally go to her, and we'll not be able to do that as at now.
Okay.
Yes.
Maybe you can try to log back in.
Let me see. I think if they try with the email.
But if not, if he had any, but if not, as Wilfred had said, we can always set up a follow-up session as well to address any questions that we haven't managed to do. Wilfred, was there anything else to go through? I'm just mindful of time, since we had committed to try to wrap things up in 10 minutes. If I can do that on behalf of of Rosemary and the Google team, just wanted to thank everybody and at the ICT Chamber or the iWorkers, the aggregators, for having engaged in the session today. Hopefully what you've seen is that Google My Business is a very powerful platform that can enable Rwandan businesses to grow their business. We have actually received requests from other agencies in Rwanda confirming that it is a big need. So hopefully you've seen that this platform is something that can really make a difference for them. You've seen also that it's free, so that it's a very straightforward way for them to be present, engage with clients. The other thing hopefully you've taken out is the importance of yourselves, sort of as the iWorkers, to reach out to them, to be able to enable them to come on board, and help them, benefit from this tool. I think that's the key of the partnership, right, in between sort of the Google and the ICT chambers, is to see how do we create an easy way to onboard these businesses on. As you mentioned, Connie, this might seem like a lot of information to you for this session. Don't worry. So we have done this in other countries before, in Kenya, in Nigeria, Ethiopia. We've done this before, and it's sort of normal at this stage. If you feel that you've received a lot of information, that's okay. What you'll find at the end is that it's actually pretty straightforward once you've done it once or twice, and the process becomes clear. So the purpose of this session was just to explain to you that it's a powerful platform for you to understand what your role would be, and that, of course, that you get how to go about getting the payment for the work that you will complete once you have the business on board. But as a next step, as Wilfred said, this material will be available, the recording, so you can go back through the pieces that maybe you didn't pick up. The PowerPoint will also be made available. And then I think the next step would be to allow you to try it. As Wilfred said, we'll have a WhatsApp group for you to ask questions. We can always organize with Dieudonné a follow-up session if it's helpful to aggregate any questions that come through. And our role is to make sure that that along the journey that we help you along. And at the end, we have, iWorkers or the equivalent that are submitting tens of businesses every day, and we have some aggregators that are submitting thousands of businesses in other countries. And there's no reason that we wouldn't be able to do the same in Rwanda. So on that note, just want to thank everybody again for having engaged in the training session. Hopefully you've learned. Hopefully you will try this out. And on our end, we'll be sure to be available to address any questions as they come along. And I have no doubt you'll be successful. So on that note, maybe Connie, I'll turn it over to you for any final comments you might have.
So we are using Connie's laptop. Some of the iWorkers, they are requesting that you must send the PowerPoint and the recording of this meeting.
Absolutely. Thank you. We will do so. So we'll be sure to share the PowerPoint and the recording. We'll share it with Dieudonné, since I think he has a database of all the iWorkers that are engaged today, but we will be sure to do so. So thank you for confirming that that's something that is required. We'll do so.
Okay, thank you.
Excellent. So if there's no further comments, then we'd like to just thank everybody for their time today, and hope you enjoy the rest of your afternoon.
Great.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you very much. Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you.